Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we last time reached Ultima Thul and lost Thancred due to an attack by Meteion or something. Well, she was definitely there, but we saw him attack her, and then passed out ourselves. And when we came to, both were gone. That's all we know so far. Strange new world. We're fortunate this place can support life, albeit barely, I suspect, given the torpid, stale quality of the air. But never mind that. We must find Thancred. Let's begin our search for the prow of the ship. It seems as good a direction as any. Try not to stray too far, lest we lose sight of one another. Yeah, and they provided the provisions note, so a marginal amendment. Use it if you need to. Hello? You are stone. So a statue or a petrified dragon? That one isn't. That one isn't petrified. That one is very much alive. As is this one. I see no one else in this barren waste, do you? Then why do I feel like we're not alone? Like there's another presence with us, something dark and mournful. Lazy? There's a dragon? Another one? What was this, I wonder? There's a structure here in front of me, yes? A tower of some sort, partially melted? Oh. In a strange twist of fate, it seems our perception of this place is not so different as it would be elsewhere. The world as I used to see it, it feels as though I'm dreaming while awake. This is more than the faded memory Meteion led us to believe. So, and... these remains have long since turned to ash, and yet they retain their form. And where's Justinian? If I remember correctly, he's up there? Yeah. This cannot be real. Ah, dragon. Dynamous crystal. Ruins. But of what, I wonder? Perhaps you can find something to help us understand the nature of this place? A relic? An inscription? Anything? The metallic pillar has been partially melted, likely something in the distant past. The damage does not appear to have been inflicted deliberately. Rather, it calls to mind the indiscriminate destruction often wrought in the heat of battle. Look here, this part is relatively intact. The intricate design of the top suggests it's man-made, though its builders were surely not men as we conceive of them. Having said that, I swear I've seen this pattern before. And again, Estinian. I thought this hill might afford a better view of our surroundings. A poor decision in hindsight. Besides the light from the ship, all is shrouded in darkness. If Thancred is here, I'd never know it. From what I can tell, we are near the edge of an island, if you can call it that, surrounded by floating debris. Fun fact, you can actually fish here in the down the cliffs into the nothingness of the star into the nothingness of the stars. If you're high enough level. Were you able to find anything? Not really. As I feared, and still no trace of Thancred. There's nothing but emptiness as far as the eye can see, which unfortunately isn't very far. Oh, I can't help but suspect that someone or something is here. There are times when I sense it drawing close, when a chill washes over me, leaving me exhausted. Leaving me with a feeling of death and anguish. I've had it too when I was near that thing. What are you talking about? There's nothing there. There's clearly a dragon-shaped being there. Before we jump to any conclusions, perhaps we should search elsewhere. Agreed. We found only more questions and we are in desperate need of answers. There's a vast stretch of terrain from the ship's port side we have yet to explore. Let's try searching there then. There's a word before we join the others. You see them too, don't you? The dragons? Yeah. As I thought, their presence is tenuous at best, but there's no mistaking it. No doubt your bond with Midgard Soma and mine with Nidok is what allows us to perceive them. Could these apparitions be related to the dragons that now live on Etheris? Bah, better to leave such a conjecture to the others. In any case, we must be careful. We may soon find dragons they can see as well. Death and anguish, what happened to them, I wonder? We're using the Mist Dragon. Surely my eyes deceive me. This cannot possibly be. My sight may have been restored after a fashion, but I fear what I see cannot be trusted. It's as if Meteion herself has etched these images upon my heart. I don't know that such a feat is within her power, given that she constructed the sanctuary herself. Look there, are those ghosts, do you think? Right, Alvinor was afraid of ghosts. Dragons, 'tis true they are not of our world, but to find them in a prison of despair? It seems these dragons have yet to succumb completely to the darkness of this place, meaning the others should see them as well.
Dragons? Here?
What you see is a memory of a world that once was. A world suffering a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. These creatures are shadow and shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
Our friend Thancred. Where is he?
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not?
What?
Oh, yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words. Huh. Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist. In like manner to the oblivion I send. I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis. Beginning with this Thancred, who came at me despite being unable to breathe. Such a simple thing, unmaking men. In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed. Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind. What you call the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word. Survive. That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade. Into a place you can perceive, and where life can endure. That you draw breath is proof that his soul lives on. For how long, however, remains to be seen.
Well then, we should hurry and tend to business. Huh?
Best man.
It's futile. You will never reach the true me. I told you, emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work will not alter its nature. You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Meteion holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
I do not know. But Thancred gave his life that we might come this far. We must press on.
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
He can't really be gone, can he? Meteion herself said his soul persists. But he is the reason we're still briefing. If so, then maybe? Maybe? I understand now why the Loporits were surprised to find this environment could sustain life. There but for Thancred's sacrifice. His will was strong enough to reshape Ultima Thul, that we might survive. But I might see again. His sacrifice must not be wasted. My aim was true, I had her. How are we to defeat an enemy we can't attack? It's hard to believe Thancred was able to overcome Meteion's will. Yet here we are. Would have the price for his victory had not been so high. Unburdened wings. Soul without body. A form of being with which we are not wholly unfamiliar. Indeed, for we existed in a similar state when residing in the forest. The circumstances are rather more dire than that, it is true, but I choose to believe that he is not forever lost to us. Regardless, in sacrifice he hath afforded us a chance to prevail. Let us not squander it, and ascertain the nature of his realm, that we might confront and defeat Meteion. Estinian, Desiree, would you accompany me in speaking with these dragons? Mayhap they can enlighten us. I would ask the rest of you to survey the surrounds. If there is a path that may lead us to our quarry, we must find it. Very well. We can reconvene here when everyone has finished. Meteion has said these dragons are shadow and shade from a world whose denizens sought oblivion. As such, they are not like to be amenable to company, let alone conversation. So please, be careful. Let us split up and gather what knowledge we may. Urianger taking charge, huh? Say Losk. A visitor, not of his star. Could thy slender hands bring plague to our world? My breath extinguish life's feeble flame. Oh, how we would adore thee. Alas, with time our flesh shall wither, our souls fade, and so we wait for its inexorable march into oblivion. If thou art not come to hasten our demise, I bid thee leave us. We crave not companionship, only silence. Beyond that distant veil, paradise lost, so glorious, so beautiful. We were a proud and noble race, strength embodied. We knew only love before they came. Metal monstrosities of black and silver, no bonds of blood did they share, nor conviction did they have to guide them. crushing defeat. Never have we known such shame. Stilled now are the winds, for none could fill these wings burdened by ignominy. We fly no more, only sink into oblivion. That water doesn't look healthy either. Thou wouldst bid me speak, folly. I have served the lesson of stone. I shall not fly, nor speak, nor roar. Only watch, and wait, and end. But once I get stir of my blood, tempteth me to raise my voice in lamentation. I'll know the cradle of unsung dragons. No words, no songs are possessed of a weight to describe such tragedy. Go if it be thy will, I shall remain. Oh, come on, leave me in peace. Thank you. They let you here as well, did they? It was described to me as a source of their woes and proof of their end. I think I'm beginning to see why. It's a hatching ground. Or wars. I've seen similar on Etheris. Midgard Soma's kind must once have lived and thrived in a place such as this. Vitra said his father was driven from their ancestral home by war and strife. This, then, is the fate of those who remained. Let's have a look around. Maybe these acts have more to tell of what happened here. Inside the shattered egg, you find the remnants of an unborn dragon. The body has already begun to decompose. The gelatinous, half-dried membrane covering the corpse suggests it failed to emerge. A murky liquid has pooled inside the eggshell. The noxious vapor is indicative of contamination. Gingerly lifting a large egg from a vicious mire, you peer inside and see a formless mass soaking in a pool of embryonic fluid. Your stomach turns as you return the egg to its resting place. The egg appears to have been broken from the inside out. Perhaps the dragonlet within succeeded in hatching. What's this? I thought all the eggs had been ruined. If the dragonlet was indeed hatched, there's no sign of it here. Or its sire, for that matter. We should look for them. You start with a cliff top and I'll search the plains. So most of these dragons didn't manage to hatch. Dead-born children. Down here? Bereave the dragon. Malformed dragonet. The boisterous howling has been quieted. By my hand, I presume. Everything alright? I thought I heard a dragon or something resembling one. I see what happened here. Was that your child? Perhaps. Some acts with an unknown are indeed mine. If life within one did quicken, the beast was slain, maybe of my blood. Yet I do not recognize it, twisted and malformed as it is. Not a dragon in truth, but a reminder of our failure, a testament to our shame. Explain. They descended from the heavens, cold, heartless machines, and with them rode war and death. With fire and fury, rage and rancor we gave answer. It was a long and bloody battle, but only the beginning. Untold chaos and destruction swept over the star. In the end, the invaders were victorious. Yet when they looked upon their prize, they deemed it unfit for requisition. We were abandoned in our ruin. The survivors sought to put away their shame, to rebuild. A futile effort. In purest soul, we plead with effort that we once cultivate our nesting grounds, but our lands were barren and the eggs nurtured in such desolation were fated to rot. What few survived to hatch and emerge as abominations, we shall have no new progeny. But there are dragons among you capable of journeying to other stars. That there are. Many would make the attempt, each bearing a clutch of eggs. The richest stars were home to the harshest rules, and the arrival of dragons incited contests for supremacy. When the fires faded, the wars lost and won, they too were reduced to ash and waste. The curse of those who seek life, to be drawn into conflict, to conquer or be conquered. A vicious cycle we now choose to break. We tire of conflict, of everything. We wait now in sweet, merciful silence, free from strife and suffering, still as stone. Wait, you claim your kind is doomed. Where's another star? Huh. So their world was ruined and they couldn't raise their children anymore. most were dead-born, and those few who did manage to be born were crippled in body and mind. A test of will. They want only to brood in silence, to be left alone with their grief until time itself comes to an end. The sole reward for senseless bloodshed. A pain I understand, and wish that I did not. What fools we were. But now isn't the time for such thoughts. The others will want to hear what we've learned. Come. A chance to gain audience with several dragons as we returned. Well, I expect their tales are much the same as those you heard. We would hear what the dragons had to share with you, even if it's no different from what they told Oriange. It would have value. Did your exploration prove eventful? Converse with any dragons? Good to see you made it back in one piece. The more I see of this place, the more bewildering it becomes. With luck, they'll have learned something to help us devise a plan of action. Were you able to establish any meaningful contact with the dragons? I see. They wish to escape what they perceive to be a cycle of conflict. Thank you, Desiree, Estinian. As for our part, I believe we are more acutely aware of our confines than before. We started by traversing the perimeter of the island, to see if there might be a path leading off of it. Sadly, there's nothing to be found. There's no small amount of debris floating about. Could there be enough to serve as a bridge to lead us elsewhere? I considered that, and so I tried throwing a stone onto a potential platform to judge its integrity. But it never reached its mark. As it crossed an invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of its island, it vanished only to reappear above me and fall at my feet. I would not be too quick to presume that what we see outside the space is as it appears. Which is why I returned to the Ragnarok and asked Loporits to search for a potential path. However, the ship's instruments failed to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it's too risky to attempt flying to another island. What Meteion told us before, that emotions dictate reality here, might be the key. But I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge to lead us to safety. So what you're saying is, we have no way forward. At present, aye. If it is indeed emotion that governs this island, perhaps it is not Meteions, but the dragons that hold us here? They tire of conflict and have chosen a path of oblivion to escape it. Or rather, they have chosen no path at all, meaning there's no way for the dragons, or anyone on this island, to advance. A sound theory, disheartening though it may be. If that's the case, what recourse do we have? We're not like to be persuaded to help us. Their reasoning is built on a history of turmoil and strife. Without irrefutable proof, the future is not as bleak as they believe it to be. Maybe persuasion is not the answer. Meteion meant to unmake us then and there on the Ragnarok, and she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She conceded it was strong enough to overpower the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Thul, and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again in like manner, by overpowering the prevailing emotions. It was Ultima Thul's architect Meteion herself against whom Thancred had pit himself in a clash of wills. Though I marked no leader among them, as such, I did chance to encounter a dragon possessed of despair far more potent than most. potent enough, mayhap, to dictate the course for others, and thus their domain to follow. He spoke but few words, carefully chosen, their tone and timbre alone threatening to rend my heart in twain. Challenging his desire to remain may allow us to alter the island upon which we stand. Alas, I fear my vaunted rhetoric availed me naught against his calcifying heart. But mayhap one of you will fare better. Then I shall guide thee. Alent, they call him in the dragon tongue, but wilt find him nearby, eyes fixed upon the water. Well, what do we have to lose? Let's get going! And we have quests from some of the dragons.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
So, waiting to die like all the others, are you?
Aye, our pride is crushed and our souls corrupted. The winds are stilled, and the heavens offer no comfort. There's nothing left for our kind. Our long lives a curse as we await the end. Still a stone we shall become.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all.
Our kin on another star. And yet, upon thee do I smell the blood of my brethren. Were they drawn into discord and war on their new home?
They were. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind.
It matters not whither we fly. Ever will a sanguine ocean await us. Ever will retribution's wheel turn. And so, when the last of my pride is a dragon, I break free of his wheel. I renounce conflict. Exile myself from the other. Never again to be touched by the flames of hatred.
Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict. No, you must be willing to confront it, to stare into the face of your foe, and see yourself in him. Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity. And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Estinian!
Stay back!
We tire of war. We tire of turmoil. Dignity tarnished, crimson stained. Our misery, our shame, too much to bear. Release us from war, from life.
I see. Theirs is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
No! Not Estinian too!
Wind.
There's a wind.
Blowing away the stagnant air.
He's opened the way for us. Sacrificed himself to remake this place, like Thancred did.
Oh, Alphino.
Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
Alright, but I end this episode here after we open the path from the dragon's domain. And next time we see where Estinian's sacrifice will lead us. Until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost, especially not here.